In the heart of a distant star system, on a planet bathed in the cold glow of twin suns, the grand palace of the alien queen loomed over the jagged landscape. Its towers, sharp and gleaming, were designed to reflect power, fear, and control. Within those walls, the alien queen reigned supreme, her subjects obedient and her authority unquestioned. She was a being of elegance and intellect, her presence commanding attention, and yet there was one thing she did not anticipate: courage from the species she considered fragile and weak. The human, named Leo, had been captured during a reconnaissance mission that went disastrously wrong. Alone on an uncharted planet, his small shuttle had been detected by the alien queen's scouts, and within hours he found himself in chains, brought before the ruler herself. He expected fear to dominate the moment, to feel the terror that had silenced so many before him. Instead, he felt an awed determination, an inner fire that refused to bow. The alien queen entered the chamber, her form towering and radiant, her eyes reflecting intelligence beyond human comprehension. Her gaze fell on the human, and she smiled, not with kindness, but with curiosity. Few dared to look at her and not tremble. Yet Leo stood straight, his back unbowed, his eyes steady. "You are far from your home, human," she said, her voice like the chime of crystals. "And yet you do not seem afraid." Leo swallowed, but kept his voice firm. "I am aware of my situation, Your Majesty. Fear does not serve me well." Her brow arched in surprise. Most would have fallen to the floor, groveling, begging for mercy. Instead, this human spoke as though he were equal, though clearly aware of the danger he faced. "Do you understand what it means to be in my grasp?" she asked, circling him slowly. "Many have tried to resist, and all have failed. Your courage may amuse me, but it is foolish." Leo followed her movement with a calm that belied the racing of his heart. "Perhaps, but even in chains, I have my mind. That cannot be taken." The alien queen paused, intrigued. No one had ever dared to speak to her in such a way. Her advisors had warned her that humans were insignificant, fragile creatures incapable of real strength. Yet here stood one, defiant and composed, refusing to yield to fear. "Tell me," she said, leaning closer, "what is this strength you possess? You are small, weak compared to the warriors of my court." Leo looked her directly in the eyes. Strength is not only measured by size or power. It is measured by will, by courage, and by the choices we make under pressure. The alien queen found herself momentarily taken aback. She had expected fear, panic, or desperation. Instead, she received philosophy, reason, and courage. For the first time in her life, the creature she considered prey had a mind and heart that rivaled her own. Days passed, and Leo remained a captive, yet the dynamics had subtly shifted. The alien queen watched him as he moved through the palace, observing the alien customs with patience and curiosity. He did not grovel, nor did he fight recklessly. He asked questions about her culture, her people, and her governance. In each answer, he showed an intellect and respect that intrigued her. "Why do you not resist more forcefully?" she asked one evening as they watched the twin suns set from a balcony high above the palace grounds. Leo turned to her, his expression serious. "Force can break the body, but it rarely wins the mind. I am here, yes, but my spirit remains mine. That is more powerful than any weapon." Her eyes, usually cold and calculating, softened slightly. No being had ever spoken to her this way, without pleading or flattery. There was a quality in Leo's courage that she could not ignore, a quiet force that challenged the assumptions she had held for eons. Curiosity became fascination. She began to test him, not with torture, but with puzzles and challenges of intellect and morality. Each time, he met them with ingenuity, patience, and unwavering courage. He solved problems that had baffled her scholars and made moral decisions that revealed a depth of character she had rarely seen. "You are not like others of your kind," she admitted one day, pacing the floor before him. "They are timid, frightened, easy to manipulate. You are different." Leo smiled faintly. "I am human, Your Majesty. Courage is in our nature, though many do not realize it until tested." The alien queen studied him, realizing that his bravery was not reckless defiance, but a form of intelligence she had underestimated. It was a different kind of power, one that her armies lacked, one that her subjects rarely displayed. She felt a flicker of respect, a dangerous emotion for a ruler who had always relied on fear and awe to maintain control. Weeks passed, and the bond between captor and captive transformed in subtle ways. The alien queen found herself seeking Leo's counsel on decisions she had long thought beyond dispute. She consulted him on strategies, ethics, and governance, and he offered insights that were simple yet profound. That one evening, an attack from a rival planet threatened her dominion. The alien queen prepared her forces for battle, yet she found herself hesitating, uncertain. Leo observed her tension and spoke quietly. "Strength is not just in the weapons you command, but in the courage of those who follow. Trust them, and they will rise to your cause." She considered his words, realizing that they were not mere advice, but a perspective she had never applied. She had relied on power, intimidation, and control, assuming that fear would always ensure loyalty. Leo's courage revealed a different path, one built on respect and trust. The battle came, and the alien queen allowed him to lead a contingent of her forces alongside her commanders. Under his guidance, strategies unfolded with precision, adaptability, and creativity that surpassed her expectations. Human intuition and courage reshaped the tide of the conflict, turning near defeat into victory. After the battle, she found herself alone with him in the quiet aftermath. She regarded him not as a captive, but as an equal who had proven his worth through courage and intellect. "You have changed my view of your kind," she said, her voice softer than before. "I thought humans were fragile, inconsequential. You have shown me that courage and mind can surpass brute strength." Leo nodded humbly. "We are not invincible, Your Majesty, but we face challenges with a resolve that cannot always be measured by power alone." For the first time, the alien queen considered a different world, one where humans and her people could coexist, learning from each other rather than dominating one another. The courage of one human had shattered centuries of assumptions, reshaping the heart and mind of a ruler who had believed she knew all there was to know. Time passed, and Leo was no longer merely a captive. He became a trusted advisor, a symbol of human resilience, and a bridge between two civilizations. The alien queen's respect for him deepened into a form of admiration that transcended politics. Touching a place in her being that she had long believed unreachable, she often watched him, fascinated by his simple gestures of kindness, his unyielding curiosity, and the quiet courage that guided every decision. It was a power she could not command, a strength she could not replicate, and yet she felt it shape her, teaching her that leadership required more than dominance. It required understanding, respect, and the willingness to recognize courage in unexpected forms. One evening, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, she spoke to him quietly. "I underestimated your kind," she said, her tone tinged with both regret and revelation. "I thought fear and power ruled all. But you have shown me courage, choice, and wisdom are stronger than the sharpest blade or the fiercest army." Leo looked at her, his expression steady. "We all have courage, Your Majesty. Sometimes it is only revealed when faced with the impossible." The alien queen smiled, a gesture rare and sincere, acknowledging a truth she had learned through this human. The courage of her captive had not only preserved his life, but had reshaped her understanding of strength, power, and what it meant to lead. From that day forward, she regarded humans not as weak and inconsequential, but as beings capable of courage, creativity, and profound influence. And Leo, once a prisoner, became the embodiment of everything she had misjudged, a living testament to the remarkable potential of the human spirit. In the end, it was not the alien technology, not the armies or weapons, that defined victory. It was courage, the quiet, unyielding courage of one human who refused to be broken, who challenged the assumptions of a queen, and in doing so, changed the course of a civilization. The alien queen, once certain that fear ruled the galaxy, learned that true strength often comes in unexpected forms. And as she watched the human beside her, she knew that courage, intellect, and heart were forces even she could not command, yet forces she could honor, respect, and perhaps one day. Emily. Leo stood by her side, the sun casting long shadows across the palace grounds, a symbol of humanity's enduring spirit, and a reminder that even in the darkest reaches of the cosmos, courage could shine brighter than any star.